Welcome to Ready, Set, Real Estate, where we will help empower and educate you on many different aspects of real estate, finance, and investing. Each week, we will expand your knowledge and uncover hidden truths. We will break down real-world scenarios and study actual how-to strategies. Anyone can buy real estate, but together we'll ensure you make smart real estate investment decisions. Now, here's your host, award-winning author, international speaker, and real estate educator, Lisa Gillett.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, folks, wherever you are on still this phenomenal planet. Every time I think about that, it reminds me of Shift Your Thinking Tuesday. Do you remember that? Oh, I had such a great time. There was so much growth there for me. Personal development. It was amazing. It was amazing. All right, so more news, more information. I actually was debating if I was going to do the show this morning or this afternoon or this evening, because I'm moving stuff around my schedule. That's what happened when you're a real life working professional, is you got to move some stuff around. And today I had to move some stuff around. With that being said, say hi, say hello, welcome to the show. Make sure you press 1, lets me know you're here. Press 2, lets me know you shared it. Of course, as we jump into the show, if you see or hear anything worthy of a mic drop, we welcome the mic drop emoji. I miss that. I miss those days where, we were doing that. Let's see what else. Today we've got a great show. Very important show. Hold up. Very, very important. Today's show will continue on. We are continuing on our discussion, and hold on, let me just make sure, because I haven't done this in a while, is a sound check. Let's see. As a sound check. Let's do sound check. Okay. Looks like we're good to go. We are good to go. All right. Back to the matters at hand. I want to continue this dialogue that we're having regarding things we're learning, we're seeing. We've got to be vigilant. We've got to do our due diligence. As we're learning as we go. You should see the threads. You should see the threads regarding this whole wildfires and the domino effect that it's having here in California. And so this is why I wanted to bring it to the show, because I shared it on social media, and then I shared it as an email blast to my contacts, and just having conversations with folks so they are aware to make some review, to review your homeowner's insurance policy to make sure that you are covered. So today's episode, we will be talking about that. Very important. Why do I not have a episode banner up here? Oh, because I was cleaning it up and deleted everything. Of course, Lisa. That's what happens when you touch stuff. Is you clean it up and then you delete everything. So today we are talking about the uncovering the hidden risk of property trust. So essentially, I want to delve in here into insurance and trust ownership and having this dialogue as to whether are you covered, because we're learning and seeing that some folks are not covered. So we're going to just scale this conversation back from the beginning and find out, how does one end up with their property titled in a trust? Because some of you may be wondering, like, well, is this applicable to me? How do I know? What do I do? And so I just want to take the guessing game out of it so that you've got all the relevant and pertinent information to see if it's applicable to you or someone you know. I also want to say thank you to those who've responded back to my social media posts and my texts and my email blasts and saying thank you. A lot of you responded back and said, "Thank you, Lisa. I didn't know. I was unaware. I took care of this." So that makes me feel good. Like, I'm doing my part. It's tough out here, especially when you see such devastation on this scale. If you're anyone who has a heart and is empathetic, you want to find a way to help. Like, how do you help? So for me, my platform has been my social good. This is my give back. Do I charge for training, consults, coaching, and all that? Yes. But here I give a lot of free game, a lot of information that you all can use and you can take and you can learn and really apply it if that's what you want to do, is apply it. So this is what today's show topic is about. Before I jump into this, so let me slow down. Before I jump into this, we had a great episode last week, episode 257. We were talking about predatory buyers who are, may come out the woodworks. And I wanted to first talk about that. And I didn't, it's so the show aired. So we aired this topic, California, predatory buyers in wildfire zones. That was episode. Let me go back to it really quick. So let's remove that. Let me see. It was this show. Where is it? See, I'm touching stuff and I got rid of it. Ugh, Lisa. We talked about this one, episode 257. Let me throw it on here real quick. See if I can share it. Hold on. Boop, 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 boop. See if it likes me. See if it'll like me. Nope. Doesn't like me. Bomb, bomb, bomb. So it was this one right here. I'll just talk over it. So last week we talked about this. And if you didn't catch it, it was a great episode, a lot of information. But the reason I wanted to bring this back is so that you all are aware that recently, right after we aired that show, we started to get notification that the California governor signed an executive order prohibiting unsolicited offers for properties in wildfire zones. So that was really important. Okay, so that was a great episode, especially when you're in line with what's happening, you're keeping up, especially with the news and being relevant. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. And if you are some of my investors that are out here and you feel like there's opportunity in this devastation, folks are opportunists. Be careful that you don't get caught breaking the law, because this is a law that has gone into effect and it is going to be effective through, when did they say it was effective through? Let's see. When was it? So this was Executive Order N725. The order applies to properties in the zip codes. This prohibition is in effect until Monday, April 14, 2025. So essentially, any person who violates the order can be convicted of a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of up to $1,000 and or by imprisonment for up to 6 months. They also make clear that the executive order does not prohibit anyone from selling their property should they wish to do so. So this is mainly for those who may come across folks who are soliciting you to purchase your property. And just heads up, you can report that. So you can report that to the Department of Real Estate. Again, we gave that information, dre.ca.gov, dre.ca.gov. I'll drop it in the chat here. I'll use my chat as my notebook, my notepad. So dre.ca.gov, I believe /complaints is where it'll get you, but that'll send you to the main homepage of the Department of Real Estate. And there's a section on there where it says file complaints. And that's where you can go to address some of those issues. All right, so good. I wanted to just catch up because right after the show aired on that Wednesday, which was the 16th, the next day I saw that public notice hit my inbox and I was like, oh, perfect timing. And so I wanted to bring it back to your attention for those of you who are staying connected and streaming and subscribed and listening to us on our radio podcast. Also wanted to give you that latest update that there is an order that goes with at least trying to stop or deter predatory buyers from coming off after folks who've already been victimized. Don't re-victim. I was hearing the sheriff say just this term, re-victimizing victims, and I was like, ugh, that's awful. That is awful. Just re-victimizing victims. Yeah, that's terrible. With that being said, let's jump into, I know a little tough here to kind of talk about your quarterly goals, especially because it's we're in such a heavy topic. So I'll skip over that today. We won't jump into your 2025 quarterly goals. Just stick to writing things down. We'll come back to that as well. I also wanted to thank our show sponsor. So before I jump into today's segment, definitely want to give a shout out to those of you who are connecting with me, who are letting us know of interested guests. I know I've got lots of guests to comb through. So I appreciate you all for sending them and reaching out to Ready Set Real Estate as one of your trusted real estate platforms. So appreciate that. And if you are interested in being a show sponsor, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate. You can send me an email directly to lisa@lasuperagent.com. Subject line Ready Set Real Estate. And we can have that conversation. I'll send you over our sponsorship sheet, and you can see what fits right for what you're wanting to do. Totally open. It's a new year, 2025. And I'm looking forward to having more conversations, whether it's topical and, of course, connecting folks to like the latest technology and products, especially if you're a property manager, you're a real estate investor, developer, to share what's out there as well. So that's always a good thing here. What else? I'm going through my checklist as quickly as I can so that we can jump into the goods of the show, to the meat. It's funny, I was doing a reviewing case yesterday, and it's so funny. I mean, now this probably I'm sharing my geekiness or my nerdiness about the law, because if you read some of these opinions and these judges, boy, when they've got some funny. That one I read last night was talking about having meat on the bones. The other thing was using the kitchen sink strategy to make an oral argument during an appeal. That's not a strategy. So just they can be very artsy and creative and show their humor in their words and how they respond to some of these motions. And it's funny to me. It's funny. I'm all geeked out about it. So I'm in my wheelhouse here, because I think some of those things are funny, while others are maybe like bored out of their mind in reading that stuff. In any case, let's be right back after this sponsor break. All right.
Do you have properties that need to be maintained? For professional services that guarantee your property will stay safe and secure, Omnis Property is the team you want by your side. As a company, we pride ourselves on our best-in-class professionals, equipped with the latest technology for all your end-to-end property preservation needs. That means that from start to finish, our expert team can handle everything from accurate assessments to preservation projects of all sizes. Save money and time by working with leading experts that understand your needs and are committed to premier service. Get started today by contacting us for your project estimate. Visit www.omnispreservation.com or call 310-957-9132.
So, very good. I just got a message from my mom and I was reading it. So apparently, listen, folks are really nervous having this new administration. They're giving out some little cards so people know what their constitutional rights are. So it's funny because I shared this with my son because he loves to, being we're a household having real estate and law discussions. He loves to he loves whenever there's an opportunity to say, I know my rights. I have rights, Mom. And I have to remind him, son, I am not a government entity. So those rights you think you have are not applicable in this house. This doesn't apply to private citizens. So FYI, it's great to understand your rights, but it's more important to understand when those rights apply. All right. Enough of that. Let me give you show disclaimer and then we'll jump right into it, of course. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are new, see, I just like get into stuff and I'm like, get rolling. And some of you who are new to the show say, who the heck is this gal? Why does she get to talk about this stuff? Who told her she could do that? Who told her? I told me. I said, me, you know what? You should do it. You should do it. So I told me. For those of you who are new to me, welcome. My name is Lisa Gillett, also known as Super Agent. Yes, the original Super Agent, broker, owner of Devenio Estates, boutique real estate firm here in Southern California. I am a pricing strategy advisor. I am trained in short sales and foreclosure. I am certified and experienced in probate sales. And I also hold a designation to work with the senior community as a seniors real estate specialist. So all that means, all that jazz, right, means I enjoy what I do. I make sure I am up to date in terms of my education, my experience, and I am probably one of few who are actively in this business and not trying to sell you a pipe dream. I'm actively in this business and, just keeping up with the latest. And I feel like I'll be doing this for some time because I do like change and I do like the newness of things. And real estate, there's always something new. 2025, here we are, something new, like buyer representation agreements. It's the new law. You can no longer show property without having a buyer representation agreement specifying what properties, who's paying for the commission, how much is the commission, what are the services provided, when are they provided, when is payment due, and the termination of the contract, or at least a termination provision for that contract should the buyer decide to not work with you or move on, or vice versa. How do we end this relationship? So always something new. Go figure, right? And then this thing is not new, but apparently it's new to a lot of people. So this is why I want to give a quick disclaimer. The information provided on this show should not be considered, right? Should not be considered legal or tax advice. Please seek those licensed, reputable professionals regarding your specific or unique situation. All right. So here we go. I gave you a disclaimer. There's disclaimer again. Let me get out the way here because I feel like I'm in the way. Great. So what have we found out, folks? There appears to be grounds for denial of insurance claims by insurance companies if the insured is not also the same person to which the property is titled in. So when does ownership change? Specifically, trust ownership. Again, I wanted to scale this conversation back. I don't want to assume that everybody understands trust ownership or what it means to have a property vested in a trust. And so to clarify that, let's start from the beginning. There are going to be a couple instances or scenarios which may create an ownership in a trust. First one is you purchase it. You purchase a property, and during the escrow process, you decide to change the vesting. Initially, maybe the offer was made in your name as an individual. And then through the escrow process, you decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my trust right now since I'm doing this. And you then take title, or you then change the vesting of that type of that property from you as an individual to a trust. In the instance you make this change during escrow, more than likely the insurance company that's involved is going to make sure that the trust is also named as insured. But I'm not saying that that will happen for certain. So you definitely want to make sure you do double check with your escrow team and your insurance officer, your insurance agent, to make sure that during the escrow process, if you are taking title in a trust, that all of that matches. So that's the first one, is that you purchased the property and you so happen to change it. The second instance to where the ownership change may change would be after the purchase. So you purchased the property, years later, you decided, you know what, I've been hearing a lot of conversations about estate planning, and I think maybe this is a good fit for me, and I want to now title my property in a trust. So essentially, that means by way of working with your attorney, if the attorney does it, or if you're working with a paralegal or some consultant who assists you in creating the trust and transferring that trust into, or transferring your assets into that trust. This is one step that most are forgetting to do, or not doing, or just don't know. So I am not blaming anyone. We're not pointing fingers. This is really informational purposes, and there's no judgment here as to, if you consulted with someone to help you and this was an additional step that needed to be taken that did not get taken care of. So do understand that after the purchases, when oftentimes we're hearing and seeing people are titling their assets into a trust. And when you make those changes, you're not oftentimes thinking of like, who else do I need to notify? Who else should I let know that I've made these changes? And this is one common place where that change takes place, which is after purchase, and it's not matching what the homeowner's policy also says. So very important to do that. And the third instance is an inheritance. You may be named a successor of an existing trust that owns property, and you've just come to the show, right? You've just joined the party as an inheritor or successor, and not know that that property does not have the proper coverage for the trust. I'm kind of saying that really wonky right now. So let me rephrase that. So in other words, you inherit a property, and like I said, you're new to the party. You realize that, hey, I'm getting the homeowner's insurance statement and I'm paying that every year. However, it still shows it's in the name of, mom, dad, uncle, grandma, whomever you may have inherited that property from, and realize that they actually did not add or they did not add the trust to the homeowner's insurance policy as well. So that'll be a direct clue to you that you should be contacting your homeowner's insurance company. While I'm on this topic right here, because this seems to be a recurring one, I don't know what is up with our folks. When I say our folks, community, I don't get it. That somehow, some way, somehow, I don't know where the thought in when a home is paid off, you believe or think and feel that you no longer are responsible for maintaining homeowners insurance, or you don't need homeowners insurance. That's a really dangerous concept or way of thinking. And the reason I say that is because I've had to come across properties where people have died in the property and they are found dead, meaning when they are found, their bodies, and excuse again for having to be a little bit, gory, but this is the reality of the business, and the reality of life is if folks aren't checking on our loved ones, or sometimes people don't have close relationships for whatever reason, they are often found deceased in their home for days to weeks at a time. And by that time, the decomposition of the body has begun, at which time, if you decide to sell that property, and I've talked about this before when it comes to insurance, when I've talked about death in the property, we've talked about this, and we can talk about it again as I'm talking about it right now. But it's very important to understand the importance of having insurance coverage, because they will pay for hazmat to clean up the dead body and properly chemically treat the decomposition of the body. And, because it's a process, I mean, you can watch this stuff on movies, but there is a real process that happens if someone passes away in a property. So let's kind of shift the mindset of thinking that I'm going to save money and not pay for homeowners insurance, because you just never know when you're going to need to file a claim. In the instance of a flood, something breaks in the house, roof leaks, there's fire damage. You just never know. Vandalism, theft, all of that matters. Oh, let me just go back here real quick as we're talking. Oh no, I'm right on schedule. So in the instance of a property that you may inherit, this is where you may want to cross-check again that property's property insurance also lists the trust as an owner. All right, so very important. Again, I just wanted to do my quick rant about homeowners insurance, because I don't know why people don't feel like they need it. And that was a conversation that I heard again when I was hearing folks in Altadena who've lost their properties. These properties have been paid off. They've been there for decades. And some folks didn't have homeowners insurance for whatever reason. But it seems to be very common in the inner city, urban community, low to median income. And it just there's this misunderstanding or misconception that because the home's paid off, you don't need homeowners insurance. They don't come together. Yes, they were impounded together as a mortgage payment and handled through your escrow account. But I think we need to revisit really what we are paying for when it comes to homeownership. All right. So changes to a title. How does that affect your insurance? Well, it affects two insurances, and we've got to be mindful of that. So when you make a change to ownership, you may want to be careful that it does not void your title insurance policy. Title insurance is different from homeowners insurance, where title insurance covers your claims and disputes such as boundary lines. So it covers the chain of title, right? Everything that they're aware of from the date you own it and before, not the date you own it and after. It's kind of a retroactive coverage, but very important. And especially as I notice, people are still having boundary disputes and property lines, and, later find out that my garage really starts here, but then, over time it ended up moving, or we built an ADU and the ADU we thought was on our property line, but now it looks like we built over to our neighbor's property line. So all those, there can be a nasty litigation behind that. So make sure when you are dealing with changes to ownership that you double check that it does not void your title insurance coverage. So consult with the title insurance company. Let's go check those policies. Make sure that you still have coverage. Make sure that, as a result of the change to the trust or the transfer to the trust, that you still have that coverage. And oftentimes you may need to secure an endorsement by paying an additional fee, right? So I don't think that's unreasonable to pay the additional fee. And I believe the fee is nominal. It's not something exorbitant, crazy. And as it relates to making those changes to homeowners insurance, you've got to make sure that The trust is added, right? In addition to you as an individual, is what I'm hearing, is that the trust be added to the insurance policy as well. I reference here about the insurance code because California insurance code does allow the insurance company to deny coverage for any other claimants that are not listed on the policy. So this is not new. And that's the scary part, is that a lot of people are just now finding this out. And it is a technicality. And during a time where people are hurting, they're in need, they're thinking about rebuilding, recovering, and the insurance companies are denying them their claim on a technicality because of the trust ownership. This definitely will be a continuing, ongoing conversation. We'll see. So again, contact your agent to confirm that your trust is that your trust is an added insured, and request written verification for your records. I cannot stress enough, and I say this all the time to folks, all the time. Make sure you get it in writing. Get it in writing. Put it in writing. Get it in writing. Who said it? When they sent it, right? What they said. What time they said. Get it in writing to cover your bases. CYA. So the potential risk and losses here, namely, are the ones that we're exhibiting right now. So you are completely exposed in the instance that you don't have your trust listed or named on your property. The exposure is can be huge, can be life altering, and to be able to recover from something like that is just life changing. So let's try to mitigate or minimize those risks just by taking those simple steps. One of the things that I wanted to reference here as a case study is what we're exhibiting and experiencing right now. The 2025 California wildfires, where some owners have learned that their coverage has been denied because their home was titled in a trust and the insurance company did not have a record of any changes to add the trust as an insured entity. So with that being said right now, I want to make sure that I do this PSA for you, that if you know anyone who's been denied coverage due to this issue, please contact me via email to be connected with community reps. I'm part of a forum with the LA County Bar Association. I'm part of a forum with other attorneys who are diligent and actively working and providing pro bono services and are having conversations with elected officials to assist those who are victims. And they're also seeing how they can, create a pathway for fair treatment for those who are victims and prevent those who will become victims. So they are asking for those who have experienced denial of coverage to reach out. And so I can help and put you in contact with those who are working with elected officials to get this message and get this issue all the way to the insurance commissioner, and to perhaps work something out with the insurance companies so that folks are not left completely exposed. So this right now is a developing story. This is a developing issue right now and a concern. Please make sure you pass that information along, okay? Here's my email. It's lisa@lasuperagent.com. Again, that's lisa@lasuperagent.com, spelled all in the conventional way. Make it nice and easy for you. And I want to make sure that you all have this information so you can pass it along. It's very important, you guys. You can really alleviate some stress that folks are really exhibiting and experiencing. So pass that along. I also wanted to use this opportunity as well to share that the commissioner for California has announced a free 2-day insurance support workshop that's happening this Saturday and Sunday, January 25th and 26th in Pasadena. Let me go ahead and I believe I've got a slide for that. Yep, Pasadena City College, 1570 East Colorado Boulevard. The dates and times are Saturday, January 25th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's a full-on day workshop for you all who need assistance in understanding insurance policies, the claims process, and getting resources for rebuilding and recovery. I wanted to make sure that we use this platform and this time to pass that information along to those who are victims of the wildfires, who are exhibiting challenges as a result of some of those insurance denials. If you can come forward and have those conversations with the team, the Department of Insurance team there who are providing support information, it is very important for them to hear your story and hear the challenges that you're experiencing so that they can come up with a solution. The next workshop is also on Sunday. So again, this is a 2-day, Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday. So Saturday's the longer workshop. Sunday, there's a much more shorter time. If you can't make Saturday's workshop, see if you can drop in from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This information came to me late, so there was apparently a workshop on the 18th and the 19th that already happened. And I wanted to make sure that I also pass this information along about the upcoming workshop that's happening this weekend. Okay, so that's good stuff here. Make sure you pass that along. With that being said, listen, thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. If you have any questions, make sure you send an email to lisa@lasuperagent.com. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Your support, your views, your comments, your engagement helps keep our show in rotation. The algorithms loves it. And of course, I've got a QR code if you want to connect with me on anything else that I offer. Of course, coaching, training, publishing, a plethora of other things, selling real estate, buying real estate. And overall, if you just want to say hi, hello, and say, hey, Lisa, I like what you're doing. I enjoy what you're doing. That I welcome as well, just to check on me as well. I appreciate those wellness checks as well that I get from you all. All right. Have a fantastic and productive week. We'll see you next week on another information-packed episode on your favorite real estate podcast right here. Ready, Set, Real Estate. Take care, guys. All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Ready, Set, Real Estate podcast with Lisa Gillett, the LA Super Agent. Please like, subscribe, and share LA